Briar here again for Fly Girl Fitness. Today we're going to talk about the benefits and how to spend time by yourself, to spend some time alone. So for some of us, this is something that we do get often. For others, it is a real challenge to even find time to be alone. And for others, once we are alone, we struggle with what to do with ourselves or what is going on within our head during that time. So we're going to quickly run through sort of the benefits of why we want you to be finding time alone and how you can do this. So the one of the main reasons that we need time by ourselves each and every day is really to find our inner voice. So we've talked a lot about awareness. But often in our day-to-day lives, when we're running from one thing to the next and we've got children with us and we've got work to do and a house to take care of and a spouse that needs attention to, it can get a little overwhelming. And sometimes we start to lose our sense of self and who we are and what we truly need and want in life. So just spending a couple of moments alone each day can help us find our own inner voice and what it is that we need and want. Also, spending time alone can actually spark creativity, this side of ourselves that we may not get a lot of time to develop. But even that, just a couple minutes or 10 to 15 minutes even of time alone every day, we can sometimes just realize that we actually have these creative ideas and we can really start to spark that creative side of our brain in that time alone. And whether we actually get the time right then and there to be productive in that creativity is not necessarily going to happen, but the ideas come, which then means that we can figure out another time when we can actually put those ideas into action. It's also just really important to have some calm and quiet in our day just to unwind, clear our head, become more mindful, and get rid of some of the chatter that's going on in our head. We've talked about that a little bit as well, about how our inner voices and our unconscious mind can really take over sometimes in all of the thousands and thousands of thoughts that are coming and going through our head each day. So just sitting in silence or doing a quiet activity on our own can just calm our mind a little bit or bring certain thoughts and problems to the surface. And in that quiet time, we can actually start to work through some of those problems that we wouldn't necessarily be able to do if we are on the go all the time. Also, having this quiet time to yourself can increase your concentration and productivity in all other areas of our lives. It can increase our tolerance with other people that are around us and can actually enhance our quality time with other people as well when we are a little bit more calm, maybe a little bit less stressed and on the go all the time. And really, this quiet time during your day may be the only time of your day that there's no pressure to do anything, right? It doesn't matter what you do during your calm and quiet time. It's totally up to you. So whether you are completely sitting in silence, if you're shutting your eyes and just doing your breathing exercises, if you are doing your journaling, if you have a hobby or creative outlet that you want to spend time with, whether it's scrapbooking or taking photographs of nature maybe, or actually going for a nature walk, whatever it is that you choose to do during that time, that quiet time to yourself, that's up to you. And that leads me into how do we do this in our busy lives? How do we actually find the time? And the first thing really is to schedule it in. So if you are a stay-at-home mom and you've got children surrounding you all the time, then maybe you need to get up a little bit earlier, even if it's 5 minutes earlier in the morning. Or maybe once the kids have gone down for the night, you spend the first 5 to 10 minutes once they have gone to bed, literally just doing something for you, taking that quiet time instead of tidying up the house or doing dishes or getting everything ready for the next day. Right away when those kids are in bed, maybe that is your time first. Put yourself at the top of your priority list, and then you can go about anything else that you need to do for the evening, as opposed to doing it the other way around. because things can get interrupted, or we can end up getting taken away and sidetracked on all the list of things that need to get done, and we end up being put last and not a priority. So put yourself first, schedule it in. If you are a working mom, then maybe you take part of your lunch hour, or maybe you schedule in an afternoon 5-minute walk around the block to get outside and get some fresh air. Totally up to you how you want to do this, but schedule it into your routine. If you are driving the kids from one activity to the next in the evenings, maybe you plan on arriving at your destination to pick your children up a couple of minutes early and just sit in the car. Don't get out, don't go in to get them just yet. Take that time, a couple of minutes to yourself first, okay? Once you have got it scheduled in, then I want you to disconnect. Shut down the computer, shut down your phone and the iPad and everything else. Give yourself this time. Don't get yourself on Facebook and start scrolling through things, because your time will be gone in an instant. It will vanish, right? It's really easy to get sucked into things when you are plugged in. So disconnect and really decide that this time is going to be yours. Okay. Also, if you were at home or at work when you were doing this, shut the door. Yes, even if it means going into the bathroom at home and shutting the door, even if there's kids knocking on the door, shut the door so that you can be alone, even if it's just for a couple of minutes. Okay. Now, if the idea of being alone and spending time with just yourself scares you, or if you get overwhelmed by the thought and the idea of this, then start small. Really and truly, just think about it being a 2-minute task, 2 minutes of being alone, doing whatever it is you want to do. And once you get started, it will be a little bit easier to slowly increase the time. If this is something that you really crave and you know that you want to do this, but you are super, super busy and you're thinking right now, Briar, I don't know how I'm possibly going to schedule this in. Again, start with 2 minutes. Find 2 minutes during your day to be completely alone. Okay. And then if it gets easier, or your family starts to understand mommy needs time by herself in order to be a better mom, then they will maybe be a little bit more receptive to it, and you can increase your time to 15 minutes or 20 minutes or half an hour even. So especially if your kids are older, they can understand that, right? That in order for you to be patient and tolerant and be a nice mom to be around, you need some time to yourself too. Okay. And then if you are spending time by yourself and you are finding that those thoughts are just scrolling through your head one after the next, which is completely fine, by the way. It is okay for your time alone to be just sorting out what's going on in your head. But if you find that you really want to spend a little bit more time being focused, then pick a topic. Pick something that's going on in your life that you want to contemplate, that you want to think about. And maybe it is a problem at work. Maybe it is something that's going on with one of your children. Maybe it is an area of your house that you want to organize or make more efficient. Pick a topic that you want to think about, or that you want to contemplate, or that you want to find a solution for, and focus just on that. Brainstorm, write a list if you need to, of how you might solve that issue or that problem. And that can be a really good way to start your time alone. And get your brain focused a little bit more, is by starting off right at the beginning of your time alone with a topic to think about. Okay, and that way you can be a little more focused, as opposed to just those hundreds of thoughts rolling through your head. If that doesn't bother you, then that's okay too. Then spend the time just taking some nice deep breaths and being aware of what comes into your head and into your mind in that moment when there is silence. You might be surprised of the type of things that you were thinking about during that time. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. You can journal about this if you need to, if you want to. If you want to write to me about it and discuss it further, feel free as well. And I look forward to seeing you again next week.